Hi, and welcome to the Owls Coaches Corner. Today we're sitting down with head men's soccer coach Ron Butcher. And Ron, you guys have had an impressive stretch in the LECs over the past couple of seasons. Up until this point this season, you've only lost one game, and that was last year to UMass Dartmouth, and that's excluding, obviously, the LEC tournament loss. But you guys have played really well. What has been the key to your guys' success in conference play over the past couple of years?
We have a pretty interesting team in that for every LEC game, we always get up for that game. I never have to give them any words of wisdom or advice. They just seem to come ready to play. Unlike when we play non-conference game, it's a different attitude. So, for whatever reason, the conference games really mean something to these players. And in the last, actually 2 or 3 years, or since we've been in the LEC, my players have always stepped up for the LEC games, and that's why we've done so well, and that's why we've been selected for the NCAA tournament several times.
Now, you guys are nearing the end of your season. You still have a couple more conference games. If you can take care of business in those games, you would have the #1 seed. How important is that for you guys this year to have the #1 seed, as opposed to going on the road and playing those important games, on the road?
Coach Rick Scott always tells my players at the beginning of the year the most important thing is to have home field advantage. Anytime you can sleep in your own bed, instead of getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning and traveling on a bus 2-3 hours, it's an advantage. Yeah. So we see he always tells the players, every LEC game is important. The home field advantage, playing on your home field in front of a crowd, is more important to me and to him than going on the road and playing in front of 50 fans at some places. So yeah, we definitely have a distinct advantage at home, and the crowd, when we get to the tournament, obviously comes out to support us, and that's a big deal.
Now, you guys have 3 sophomores that have really stepped up into important roles for this team. We'll start with Danny Silverman in the midfield. He's one of your younger players, again, only a sophomore. Has played big minutes for you guys this season, and he's certainly not a big kid, a very small kid, but what has allowed him to be so successful for you guys?
He's dynamite in a bottle. I mean, there's been all kinds of things written about him over the last 2 years. And what makes him dynamic? 2 things. His attitude, number 1. Every day, no matter if he's injured or not, when he comes to practice, he's ready to play. And it shows. He reads the game exceptionally well. And when kids look at him from opposing teams and say, wow, he's just a little squirt. And yet, he plays like 6 foot, 185 pounds. I mean, his foot skills, his foot speed, they're incredible. And that's what makes him a great player. But the knowledge of the game, the reading of the game, is what sets him apart from most other players.
Now, Blake Nyman, who's playing defense for you guys this year, again, also a sophomore, he really anchors the defense for you guys. He always seems to be at the right place at the right time, and he certainly wins all the headers for you guys all over the field. Talk about his play a bit.
Well, Blake reminds me of a center back I had years ago by the name of Ian Wilson, who won every head ball in the back. I mean, we call him Bolt Neck just because of the way he could get up, elevate, and boom. And Blake's the same way, but Blake's a man. He's physically so much more mature than a lot of the other players we play against, and he's got the same attitude. Practice, doesn't matter whether he's hurt, he goes out and gives you everything he has in practice. He's a definite leader by example, and in a game, most of the opposing players, they try to stay away from him, but sometimes it's not possible. But in terms of heading balls, in terms of reading the game, he's so far superior than a lot of the other players in the league that he should be a first-team all-conference performer this year.
And last but not least, Joe Senecal, the 3rd sophomore, leading the offense this season. He's tied for the lead in the Little East Conference for goals and also tied in the lead for the Little East Conference in points. he had an impressive freshman year. And what has allowed him to come into this season and even improve on that freshman season?
Well, I think with Joe, he realized this year that he had to step up his game when we lost our other big striker last year. Joe became the point of our offense. Last year, as a freshman, he came in, he scored 8 goals, 9 goals, but he also missed a lot of little chippies, as we call them, in front of the net. This year, he stepped it up. We've gotten him the ball in key situations. I think he's won 2 or 3 games for us in overtime, and he's put the ball away. But he's a runner. He's the guy we try to get the ball to, on the dead run, because once he splits the defense, something's got to happen. And he has made it happen, and I'm glad for Joe that, he's leading tied for the conference lead. And he should be an all-conference performer at the end of the year. Right now, he's a little dinged up, but hopefully we're going to get him back for tournament time.
Well, we'll be interested to see how you guys do as you head towards tournament time. And that's it for this edition of the Owls Coaches Corner. Thanks for joining us.